We have a bit of dilemma in the wrestling community today, or this week. One, the Fiend lost. Two, Goldberg, his Universal Champion, is about to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Three, Samoa Joe got suspended. And four, John Cena versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. Uh, oh god. Um, Oh, and five, The Undertaker returned, and now we're about to get AJ Styles versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. What's happening? What is happening in the world of wrestling? What's happening in the world of WWE? Well, I can tell you one thing. Tonight is a Revolution, AEW Revolution, so try to watch it live. I don't know. But I do have predictions for that later. But first, I just want to break down the news because this is super, super interesting. I want to break down my full reactions to The Fiend losing, Goldberg is Universal Champion going to WrestleMania versus Roman, and finally Fiend versus Cena, and my honest opinion on Super ShowDown and Revolution coming up. So I'm going to start off with the most simple thing. Samoa Joe getting suspended for 30 days. It was coming. We heard news that it was coming. I get it. I don't care. We knew it was coming. We knew Samoa Joe was going to get suspended, but it didn't feel real because we all know what Dave Meltzer is like. We all know what the dirt sheets are like in the world, but oh boy, it happened. Joe was suspended for 30 days, but it is true he's not going to miss WrestleMania. So there's a chance of seeing Samoa Joe at WrestleMania in a capacity in a match. So 30 days of the wellness violation or the wellness policy, it happens. Lots of guys get suspended. I mean, Roman Reigns got suspended because of a wellness violation. Paige, even Marie, Randy Orton's been suspended numerous times. We've seen guys that we don't think get involved, or we don't think have, we don't think will be part of the wellness violation, get part in the wellness violation, get suspended, and a lot of shit happens. But Samoa Joe's going to be hopefully in capacity at WrestleMania. He's not going to miss any, significant time. Obviously, he's still part of that feud with KO and Seth Rollins, but that's going to be a one-on-one match most likely. Possibly the thing that we could get is Samoa Joe versus Buddy Murphy. We don't know. I don't know. There's up in the air, or Joe could be in the Battle Royal. That's really what could happen. So let's break down the other thing. Super ShowDown. I didn't watch the full pay-per-view, but I did get some predictions right. I did get Morrison and Miz winning the tag team championships. I knew in my mind it was going to happen, and it did. The Undertaker returned. Get to that later. Brock destroyed Ricochet. We all knew that was going to happen, so there's no there's no point of saying Ricochet got buried, because the man has the highest winning percentage on Raw. Like, Ricochet just wins. Ricochet has won for a long time. And if you thought Ricochet was going to just be toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar, no chance. No way. And there's the big one. And this is the one I'm going to talk about. Oh boy. Goldberg defeating the Fiend with a jackhammer. Here is my reaction. Here is my honest opinion on this. I do not mind this one bit at all. One, as part of the Fiend's character, it targets people from the past and knows a lot of people from its past, from Bray's past. If you messed with Bray, you mess with the Fiend. That's Brian, Seth, because Seth was a member of the Shield at one point. You have Finn Balor, and now you get this challenge like Goldberg, who is unknown, and you see this guy come and beat the Fiend the way that Goldberg did. Not only is it not bad for the Fiend, it's not bad at all for what WWE are doing now. Because what we're getting in return is something a little bit more compelling. That's been building for about 3 years. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg is a pretty interesting match. I'm not saying it's a good match to have. I'm not saying it's a bad match to have. It's an interesting match to have. It's different in the way that it's styled up. And at the same time, it has a potential to be something good and at the same time something bad because of the reaction of the universe, the WWE universe. And I've seen a lot of reactions. I've seen negative reactions overall. And I just want to say this. The one thing I've been seeing is the Fiend got buried. Absolutely not. The Fiend did not get buried at all. It stood up from spears. It stood up from spear after spear after spear after spear. It took a jackhammer. Sure, it got pinned. But it stood up. It stood up after. And you mean to tell me, buried is this. Guy just gets flat out destroyed. And just murdered and manhandled. And we just, at the same time, just has no credibility. It just loses all the credibility that it built up. And we're talking about a big star. We're talking about a really, really big star. In terms of Ricochet and Brock Lesnar, Ricochet did not get buried because Brock Lesnar is, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar is a goddamn animal. Goldberg is compelling in this way. Goldberg is compelling. He's an animal. But the Fiend is unstoppable. But it can be stopped. In terms of storytelling, when Bray doesn't know his competitor that well from his past, he doesn't have a really good plan. It doesn't have a plan. It doesn't have an idea of how to go after his opponent. That's what happens. So, you see why. And you should have saw it coming. Everybody should have saw Goldberg winning the Universal title coming. I saw it coming. I just didn't predict it because I thought at least we could get the Fiend versus somebody else, and we could get somebody to face Goldberg in a capacity at WrestleMania. But, Jesus, it happened. And now Goldberg is the Universal Champion. Is that a bad thing? Yes, in terms of building the future and WWE relying on its past? Sure. But it's a good thing because, things got interesting. Things gets really interesting. Fans are going to see what they do next with the Fiend. And now you got this next challenger. The Fiend has its next challenger, John Cena, who returned last night on SmackDown, saying that he wasn't going to compete at Mania. Next thing you know, the Fiend comes out, Cena, Fiend, WrestleMania. Sure, it's not for the Universal Championship. It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be at all. Because that rivalry between Bray and Cena back in 2014, it was never about a championship. It was about it was about embracing Cena's dark side. That is what Bray did. It was Embrace the Hate 2.0, but a lot more creepier and a lot more ridiculously scary. So, that's what it was all about. And Cena doesn't need to compete in the title match at WrestleMania. Absolutely not. I didn't think so. And I thought for myself, the Fiend versus Roman was kind of not going to be a good match. But Goldberg versus Roman itself sounds a lot more better for me. Because, hey, Goldberg knows how to work with young guys. Roman is a great worker, and at the same time, beating the Hall of Famer for the Universal Championship does get a bit interesting. And at the same time, it takes away some of the heat. So I can see why WWE did what they did. Because we know Roman is most likely going to win the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. He was going to win regardless. And to all the people that are saying Roman doesn't deserve a number one contenders match, the dude came back from cancer a year ago. He came back from leukemia. And dude hasn't even had a Universal title rematch. He had to relinquish the Universal Championship that he never ever lost. So Roman was due a match for the Universal Championship. Should it be the main event of WrestleMania? Absolutely not. I don't think so. We have Drew versus Brock. That is a much more compelling match for the fans. and it's a lot more interesting, it's a lot more entertaining. In a way, it's Drew's coming out party as not only the chosen one, but a guy that deserves the moment to headline, to main event that stage for the championship, the big title. It's been a while since the WWE title has main event at WrestleMania. The last time it did was in 2016. That was WrestleMania 32. That's been too long for me. I need the WWE Championship in the main event. So those are my reactions to Goldberg winning, the Fiend, Cena, almost everything. Undertaker returning was huge because, of course, and WWE saying there were rumors. Obviously, we saw the pictures. Obviously, we knew Undertaker was going to be involved in some capacity. Now he's involved with AJ Styles. There's a possibility of that match happening at WrestleMania. And I'm excited for that because, one, this is a dream match for me. Two, AJ is great with anybody. And Undertaker, we've seen his last match recently in a tag team match with Roman, Shane, and Drew. He looked great. Excellent. When you give Undertaker young guys to work with, when you give him those kind of guys that can work around him, it's compelling. And AJ can work around with anybody. You've seen his work in TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor. Now you've seen him in WWE. You've seen him with Roman Reigns. You've seen him with Seth Rollins. You've seen him with Dean Ambrose. You've seen him with pretty much everybody. He's worked to everybody's style. No pun intended. It's really crazy. It's interesting. This is really a kind of like, it's something cool. Really cool. I'm excited for that match if it happens, and I really hope it's I really hope that a match like that goes at least 10 minutes. I'm not saying it should go longer than 20, longer than 30. No, at least 10 minutes. Give time for storytelling. I know if you give AJ time with storytelling, he's great at telling stories in a short period of time. It should be great. This should be a great match for Undertaker, and this should be a great match for AJ Styles. And finally, I think the one thing I want to talk about now is AEW Revolution. That's really the last thing I want to talk about today because it's tonight, and I do not have that much expectations. I do have a little bit of expectation for Revolution, while at the same time it's like, it's not going to be, I don't really have too much to say. I don't really have too much to think about with this pay-per-view. But this should be a great pay-per-view. Honestly, I have a lot of faith in AEW putting on a great show. Although the card itself is a bit weird. I mean, Pac versus Orange Cassidy, who would have think that match would happen? Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander. I mean, Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara, it makes sense. Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes, makes sense in a way. Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Young Bucks. MJF versus Cody. Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. And then you got a pre-show match, SoCal versus Dark Order. But since I just ran down that order, and since I'm just talking about it, might as well give my predictions. SoCal Uncensored, Pac, Nyla Rose, Darby Allin, Jake Hager, Kenny and Adam, MJF, Jon Moxley. That's it. Those are my predictions for the show. I don't really have much to mention now. I've really much gone over what I really wanted to talk about. These are much more condensed videos that I'm probably going to do from now on this channel. But this has been an interesting week. NXT had, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair in the main event. Johnny Gargano attacking Tommaso Ciampa. Raw had, that whole Canadian screwjob stuff, and it's getting ridiculous. But this is going to be what I'm going to probably do for more often. And it will probably be something like this. These are videos that are probably going to be more like this from here on out. I still had to do, before, and I heard about the news. Let me talk about one more thing. The New Japan Cup being canceled for several days because of the coronavirus. Understandable. You don't want to risk your you don't want to risk your wrestlers getting sick in health reasons. Obviously, we want the best kind of wrestling, and hopefully New Japan can reschedule their dates. My plan is, because I've heard about Wrestling Dynasty in Madison Square Garden, I hope to be there live in MSG in August, while at the same time I hope to be live in Philadelphia for Elimination Chamber, which is coming up next Sunday. So I gotta see about the ticket, and I gotta see what I can do. Other than that, that's really much all I have to say. These are going to be more videos that I'm probably going to do in the future. I hope everyone has had a good weekend. I hope everyone's had a good week. The last day of February. Happy last day of February to everybody. Happy March coming up to everybody. I'm probably going to be watching Revolution tonight. Probably not, but I will get a reaction video done. And I also will get a reaction video done for New Japan Osaka, because I still need to goddamn finish that. Forgive me. Forgive me for being stupid. So, I send my love, peace, and blessings to everybody here on a very, very much everyday basis. And I hope everyone just has a good night. Relax your mind and spirit and body and soul. It's the best thing to keep yourself just in a good place, in a good state of mind. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to rest my goddamn back because, wow, it hurts. I was going to see a movie today. No, it's cold as fuck in Philadelphia. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go order me some pizza and chicken later. See y'all, everybody, and I will see you guys maybe tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Boom.